Good evening and welcome to News Channel 8. I'm Jerome Aegean, and here's some of the top stories we have for you tonight. A midnight shootout between armed robbers and the police on St. Croix. A St. Croix man is slain execution style in Orlando, Florida, and the aftermath of another Hovensa fire. These stories and more are up next on News Channel 8. In our top story tonight, a late-night robbery attempt at the McDonald's in Orange Grove, St. Croix turned into a shootout between armed robbers and the Virgin Islands Police Department. News Channel 8's Wes Small files this report.
Okay, thanks a lot, Jerome. We're in Orange Grove area, Golden Rock, here at McDonald's here. Right in back of me, the subway area. Here's what we believe happened. It was shortly before midnight, right around closing time last night here at McDonald's, where we have those infamous masked men, each one with a gun. 3 masked men coming from this area past Subway, all right? Now, they came in here and they pulled an armed robbery. VIPD was here moments later, so fast that it was a possible hostage situation. Here's what we have. We have at least 1 individual escaping on foot, and then 2 truck jacking a blue truck right from here. All right, as the blue truck made a left right here, going up Rattan area, as the cameraman pans, that's when we have shots fired. Shots fired from that stolen blue truck, VIPD returning fire.
Police on St. Croix are investigating an armed robbery that occurred at the McDonald's restaurant in Estate Golden Rock on Monday, February 14th at about 12:30 a.m., just as the restaurant was closing. According to detectives investigating the case, as employees were locking the business for the night, 3 masked men, 2 carrying weapons, entered the establishment and demanded money, which was turned over to them by employees. The suspects carjacked a vehicle that was in the parking lot after forcing the man who was in the truck to get out. As the suspects were leaving the parking lot, a patrol unit entered the area and the suspects opened fire on police, who returned fire. During the chase, additional shots were exchanged between the suspects and police officers. The car chase ended near the water tank near Estate Scion Farm, where the disabled vehicle was abandoned by the suspects. Police searched for the suspects but were not able to locate them. A black handgun was recovered from the vehicle, and the vehicle was taken for processing by forensic technicians and to recover any evidence. St. Croix Police Chief Christopher Howell, K-9 officers, Zone C commander and officers, internal affairs agents, VI Port Authority and other law enforcement officers were on the scene. And police believe these suspects may be responsible for other robberies in the district and are urging anyone who has information regarding this or any other robbery to call the Criminal Investigation Bureau detectives at 712-6077, 712-6037, or you can call Crime Stoppers USVI at 1-800-222-TIPS.
All right, to continue. All right, so we have 3 men that came in here. Police jumped on them so fast. Exchange of shots leading into Rattan area. Right now we have K-9 seeing that possibly if these suspects have bled out from overnight, if they're still lying in the bushes, what is going on? That's what they're trying to figure out now. But we are still looking for 3 dangerous armed men. VI Police, Virgin Island Police believe these guys could be involved in other crimes as well. So now you're caught up. A shootout. How these guys escaped, because they say that blue truck looks like Swiss cheese. We don't know. Possibly they were vested up, but we are looking for 3 individuals that came into McDonald's last night, armed robbery. If you know anything, you should call 911, or you should call Crime Stoppers at 1-800-222-TIPS. Again, could have at least 2 suspects in the Rattan area, possibly wounded from gunfire. At McDonald's in Golden Rock, I'm Wes Small for News Channel 8.
And in other news tonight, it seems as though the fires and flare-ups are becoming more frequent these days. News Channel 8's Wes Small files this report on the latest environmental disaster on Hovensa grounds.
All right, thank you very much, Jerome. a lot calmer today than it was on Friday. It was shortly after 3 o'clock when all hell and chaos broke loose once again here at Hovenza. All right, first of all, the distillate desulfurization unit, better known as the 4DD desulfurizing unit on the western side of the refinery, as it caught fire. You see some exclusive pictures here shot by our news crew, and I want to thank Glenn Drake for pinch hitting for me there to get this story. I mean, it was really a dangerous situation. I did just talk to Alex Moorhead's office, who's kind of semi-retired, and he kind of puts out fires, so to speak, from time to time. But I had left word with his office to get back to me. And we all know that 500,000 barrels of oil are pumped out of Hovenza every day. We do know that there were no reported injuries. All employees and contractors are accounted for, and according to Hovenza, they notified all the appropriate authorities that responded to the fire. This fire lasted for approximately 2.5 hours or so. Moorhead's people, they responded, they believe it was over at 5:45. Now, I just got off the phone with St. Croix Environmental Protection, St. Croix Environmental Association, Paul Shackroff, the director. He told me that ever since the recent series of flare-ups here at Hovenza, we have United States Environmental Protection Agency officials here. Between 10 to 15 environmental protection agents are here as we speak. Later in the week, I'll try to contact the feds and see if we can get them on camera to tell us where we stand. But we do know this. We do know that we have cancer at an all-time high in a lot of areas of Clifton Hill and west of this refinery, people with no cancer in their families who have never smoked cigarettes. We also know that we have never seen these many accidents or flare-ups since the days, God rest his soul, of Leon Hess Sr. I can't tell you what this means to our community, with the environment, but I can tell you this: it is devastating. My eyes are burning profusely now, and there is a smell here that's not normally smelled in this area. What in the world is going on with Hovenza? And when will it stop? More flare-ups, more fires, and they seem to be getting more frequent and a lot more hazardous and dangerous to this community. I doubt if Mr. Moorhead will go on camera with me this week, or any official from Hovenza will, but the ball is definitely on their side of the court. At Hovenza, I'm Wes Small for News Channel 8.
Thanks, Wes. And Vice President Alex Moorhead did return Wes's calls and said that the Hovenza press release says it all. And a St. Croix man was shot and killed over the weekend in Orlando, Florida. News Channel 8's Wes Small has the sad story of 33-year-old Khalif Barry, and also a look at the saturated patrols over the weekend.
Thanks a lot, Jerome. Wow, what a weekend it was for the Virgin Islands, even when something happens stateside. By now, the territory is buzzing with the execution-like slaughter of 33-year-old Khalif Barry. That's right, Khalif Barry. His name should be no stranger to you. It was just shortly around midnight, after midnight or so, Saturday night, early Sunday morning. And it's at Cypress Point Condominiums, which is an upper-scale neighborhood in Orlando. There are lots of Tomians and Cruisians in the Orlando area. Believe it or not, this will shock you. Orlando, with a population of roughly 260,000 to 300,000 people, this is only their third, I repeat, their third homicide of the year. Look at our territory, 100,000, and we have 8. Let's bring it close to home. Now, this area, upper scale, surrounded by a beautiful lake and a golf course as well. Many of the neighbors had moved out of the inner city part of Orlando, from downtown, so to speak, into this area, hoping for a more peaceful environment. Well, Barry, who is a native of St. Croix, was recently released from federal custody in October. It was Khalif Berry, who was acquitted of being involved in a drug trafficking organization right here on St. Croix. Now, according to friends, Berry was preparing to leave Orlando to come back home here into the territory. And he was entering his gate at the Cypress Point condominiums area, and neighbors report hearing 6 to 10 cannon ball shots, like shotgun shots or some huge artillery. Emergency responders got to the scene, but 33-year-old Khalif Berry was dead right there on the scene as emergency responders tried urgently to save his life. Moments later, just moments later, St. Croix and the territory learned of Berry's death, because he does have loved ones and close ties here in the Virgin Island territory. Violence at home, violence abroad. 33-year-old Khalif Berry shot execution style in Orlando, Florida over the weekend. Now let's bring it closer to home. I told you the saturated patrol for the Valentine weekend was really going to be stepped up, and it was. Deputy Police, well, actually now newly appointed Chief Chris Howell, and I also want to echo my sentiments to former Police Chief Benta as he heads the training academy for our young men and women entering the force. The best of luck to former Police Chief Oakland Benta. Now let's go to Melody Rames with more on saturated patrol over the weekend.
Saturated patrols on St. Croix and St. Thomas confiscated drugs and made several arrests. On St. Croix, police confiscated a total of 227 grams of marijuana, and on St. Thomas, a dangerous firearm was recovered. At about 8 p.m. Saturday, February 12th, saturated patrols on St. Croix arrested 20-year-old Edmund Jacobs of Estate Hannah's Rest and charged him with possession of a controlled substance with intent to distribute. And Calvin Molina, age 18, of Estate Concordia, and Shaquem D. George, age 20, of Estate Strawberry Hill, were arrested on separate charges of simple possession of a controlled substance. Molina was arrested just before 10 p.m. in Estate Prophet, and George was arrested just after 10:30 p.m. near Hospital Street in Christiansted. Both suspects were held on a $1,000 bail each. Police on St. Croix also arrested 27-year-old Giovanni Mantilla of Estate Anna's Hope and charged him with DUI. Police stopped Mantilla near Market Street in Christiansted because he was driving without headlights. Mantilla failed the field sobriety test and the breathalyzer test, and he surrendered his license in lieu of bail pending his court hearing. And on St. Thomas, police conducting saturated patrols in known drug trafficking areas confiscated 7 bags of marijuana, marijuana seeds, and drug paraphernalia in Estate Smith Bay and Friedenhoy Ballpark on Friday night into Saturday evening, February 11th and 12th. Several males were detained and released, and investigations into these cases are still ongoing. And officers conducting inspections on St. Thomas found and confiscated a .22 caliber firearm, which was lying on the ground on the Alton Adams Drive. The weapon was turned over to the forensic unit for testing.
With that, be safe, be well, look out for each other. I'm Wes Small at Ann Strader Command for News Channel 8.
Thanks, Wes. And when we come back from this break, the junior ranchers are going to help out St. Lucia. Find out how. Stay with us on Channel 8.